Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some sunflowers in a little watering can. I'm going to make this very loose and stylistic. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for beginners. Got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat tonight for our live show, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask those, and I'll try to answer. Let's get started. All right, so I decided to use, whoops, there's my microphone.
It's okay, it goes away when you do that.
Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. All right. We are using a 12 by 12 inch canvas today. This is the Fredrix archival watercolor canvas board. They also have a new mixed media canvas board that I really like too, that probably would work as well. Really just anything. Honestly, you could do any size you wanted to. I think that this would be good wide as well, but I decided to crop it out into a square so for tonight. And I just wanted a little bit more space than my normal 9 by 12. It would have cut off that whole top part, and I would have had to make this really small. So I wanted to have a little bit of extra room to be more expressive with my brush strokes here. So speaking of brushes, we're going to be using a variety of different flats and filberts and some rounds. So I've got the Aspen series, which are kind of a stiffer bristled brush from Princeton. And then these ones are the 6100 series from Princeton as well. I've also got an angle brush in here. So just grabbed kind of both because I'm not really sure which one I'm going to want to use tonight. Usually when I want more expressive brush strokes, I'll use these ones because they kind of really push that paint around really well for me. So it kind of just depends on how it goes. We'll start with them and see. Are you doing okay? Okay. Mark's over there just fidgeting.
I'm just adjusting my headphones.
Okay.
They were squeezing my big skull.
Distracting. Okay. And then for the centers of the flowers where we want some kind of fluff, we're going to want some sort of textured brush to do that. So I've got a 3/8 inch Princeton Select, Deerfoot Stippler, or a blender. I'm not really sure. This is the VelvetTouch in the red handle. So thank you to Fredrix and Princeton, our brush and canvas sponsors, for providing our materials tonight. They don't pay us, but we just use their stuff and we really like it. So they're really great.
They're awesome.
Yes, they are. Okay, so I actually took these photos. These were flowers that we got in October this year. We went to a pumpkin patch last year. Yes, sorry.
We didn't come from the future.
No. But anyhow, they were amazing, and we got like whole bunches of them for like, I think this whole thing was like, I don't know, $15 or something. It was super cheap.
Yeah, if that.
It was, yeah, really cheap. All right, let's go over our colors. All right, got Phthalo Turquois. I've got it in a weird place, but we're going to use it for the background. So burnt Umber, burnt Sienna, Quinacridone burnt orange, Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Orange, what is that? Yellow Oxide, Cadmium Yellow Dark, and it matches my fingernails. Cadmium Yellow Medium, Indian Yellow Hue, Cadmium Yellow Light. And then this is Unbleached Titanium, Titanium White. I just put out all the yellows because we're going to use so much of them. It'll just help us. If you don't have all these ones, that's fine. You can mix up different tones of yellow very easily with just like a little bit of red or a little bit of orange, browns, anything like that, with as long as you've got a good base yellow, nice vibrant bright yellow to start with. So we just do this because it's faster that way. And if you don't have the Phthalo Turquoise, you could use Phthalo Green or a blue of some sort so that we can mix some greens with it. So, all right, let's get going here.
Let's do this.
I'm going to go ahead and use, I think, if I can find it. I thought I got one of these out, but I didn't. There we go. A number 2 round to do our sketches today. So I'm just going to kind of sketch out where I want our main flowers to be, and then we'll kind of use it as our guide as we go here. And I could have toned the background of this canvas. I thought about doing that, but it was too late by the time I thought of it. So All right, so I want my watering can to be kind of in here somewhere. Somewhere in here, I think. I'm going to narrow it down a little bit, right in there. And then I don't want it to go above halfway. So in fact, I want it to probably end kind of right in here somewhere. So that would be the spout. And then the bottom of it's going to come all the way down and be almost as wide as the body of the, or maybe about half as wide. So if you kind of split this in half here, then match this distance to this. So this probably need to be a little bit more narrow right here and right about in there somewhere. And that'll be the top of it is going to be hiding back here. So that'll be our watering can. And then our handle is pretty much right across from that. So it's hiding back here. And we're just seeing a little bit of it right there. All right, so once we've got that, then we can kind of map out some of these flowers. So I'm going to do one that's really low here. I am going to have to remove some of these flowers, unfortunately, because we're just not going to have room for all of them the way we've cropped this canvas. But this one's going to come across here. Then we're going to have another really big one right in here. Center. And also this, just doing it this way will help us kind of with knowing kind of where our greenery and things are going to go. So this one's going to come this way. I do want to do the two big red ones. So those are going to be kind of my focal point ones. And then there's another red one that's kind of hidden back in here. So we'll put him back up in there and behind it. And that way we have three of the red. It's always good to kind of, if you're introducing a color like that, that's a little different, to have three of them. It just kind of makes it more harmonious. It's good rule of thumb. Okay, so there, and then big yellow sunflower right in here. And it's a little smushed, so it's going to be kind of like that. Then, okay, so there's that one. We're going to have some leaves coming up here. Leaves coming out here. Leaves. So this middle area is going to have several leaves, and then we'll have, yeah, so big leaf right here. We'll have this one up here. Big sunflower. And then there's, let's go ahead and do one. I like this stem that's coming up off here with this little small leaf. So let's go ahead and do that one. And it's pointing this way. So it'll be in here. And I'm really watering this down so that I can just kind of, I'm not trying to do anything too finished, you know. So I want this dip here. This will really help our flow. So we'll leave this one here on its own, and then we'll leave some space. This is the red one that's peeking out right here. We'll leave some space, and we'll do this big, bright lemon yellow one right here, and it's going to take up this whole space right here. And that'll be a nice little flow. Always pay attention to your borders when you're doing stuff like this, especially if you're kind of editing things out. Okay, so I also want this one that's kind of coming off, and we're seeing the back side of it. So here's that one there. And then, oh, I messed up my fingernail polish. I could feel it. I was going like this with it. I was like doing a nervous little, you know, picking at it. I pushed it back in place though. It did okay. All right, sorry. Back to the.
Do I need to get you mittens?
Like the baby mittens.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Nail polish
I'm
mittens.
I'm not biting them. I don't bite them at least, but.
Oh, I could make some money. Some nail polish mittens.
Man, that would be a good idea. I need those, man. I need them bad.
Nobody steal my idea.
Well,
I'm going to Shark Tank.
They would have to be, I don't know. They would have to be like bulletproof, because I am so bad about not letting my nails dry. And this is an hour almost. It's over an hour because I started these at like after 4:30. So it's been a while, but I don't know. For some reason, it takes forever for my nail polish to dry. All right, back to important things here. So, decisions. So there's no flowers down here, but I kind of feel like it would be cool to have one kind of just poking down here, maybe. So I might do that. I might take them out. I don't know. We'll see. We do have this one kind of poking that way. So maybe what we could do is move that one down here and put something else different over here. Like maybe put something with the leaf here and do a regular sunflower in this area right here. I think I like that idea better. Because we've got this one kind of bent over here and then this one will kind of mirror it. I might even do it a little bit farther out and let it kind of go off the canvas a little bit. So something like that. I think I like that. All right, and then so these ones are going to come pretty far out because it's a big sunflower. And we've got little bitty baby ones right in here. There was just like a whole bush that we took. It was like literally dozens of little ones that were all on, like we literally took the whole bush out of the ground. It was pretty cool. So we'll just kind of do a couple of those here. And then I kind of don't know if I want to do a whole lot more. There's a big one over here. It kind of feels like it'll pull it this way if I put too much over, although this thing, it was so unbalanced. It was so overloaded with flowers. We had to lean it up against something to keep it from tipping over. It kept tipping over.
The pail wasn't doing too good.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't able to hold up all these. Okay, so let's do a big old leaf down here, just kind of coming out there. I think that'll be good. I feel like maybe we could bring this out a little bit more, maybe just do a couple leaves out here and out this way. I did have this big one up here too, so I could do that one if I wanted to. But see how that kind of just pulled everything that way? You got to look at that outside shape, so it's kind of pulling everything off the canvas. So if I do like that, I might, I don't know, or do something up here to balance it this way. So now I have this. I feel like this needs to go all the way off here if we do that. So just playing with the composition here. It's not, this is obviously not exactly what's in the photograph, but you can kind of see how these ones come out. I do really like how these ones did. They're real clustered tight here, but you can see how they kind of do this really interesting outline. This is kind of a solid block here, but this one here has some really interesting shapes happening. So I might look at that when we get to this part and see if we want to use any of that. But I think I'm pretty happy with that overall. And I might bring down, I think I'm going to bring this sunflower down a little bit farther on here so that it kind of does like this, just has really interesting shapes all the way around it. All right, let's do this now. So now we've got that. I'm going to clean out that brush really good because I'm going to hold that off to the side. And then I'm going to get a brush. Let's get this one. This is the 8 Bright. I think this one will work for us. I actually used to do whole murals like walls with this size brush. This 8 flat bright brush size is just like a really good standard size. It's about almost an inch or right at an inch. And you can just do all kinds of different brush strokes with it. All right, so I'm gonna do the background with kind of a slightly navy blue color. So I'm gonna mix the Quinacridone Magenta with this turquoise. And the more magenta I use, the more blue it'll go. And using more white here. There we go. It's pretty. I probably used more white than I want, but we'll see. And I'm not gonna do the brick, obviously. You can see that from obviously not.
You're working on your blue backgrounds, apparently, with your logo and now this.
Oh, yeah. I swear,
Thank you to everybody who voted for one.
You voted for one?
What?
I didn't see your vote. Sorry, hun.
That's okay. I think one is losing, though.
It is. I chose to.
But I thought, like, my vote counted for, like, 1 million.
Well, if I'd seen it, I would have noticed it, but I didn't notice it. I don't know when you voted, but... All right, so I'm going to just kind of very loosely go around these flowers. I'm not trying to block out the shapes totally. I'm just trying to kind of... This will give me a better idea, too, of kind of my overall shapes that I've got going on with everything. And then, you know, every now and then I want to get in here and put the color in the middle where it's going to go. Okay. So this is a really nice, like, dark blue teal almost.
So hello to everybody.
Yes.
Welcome to the channel.
Glad you're here today.
Some people have made the comment in chat, which is true. This is kind of outside your normal style.
It is.
But I really like it.
I do too, and I do like this style a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I buy art, this is kind of art I buy.
Yeah.
It's funny. So
you can check out like her other 400 some odd videos.
Yeah.
Different styles.
Yes. So I just yeah, if you want a sunflower that's realistic, I have tons of those too. So I have several. We just painted one last fall that was on a fence, you know, so you could use those as a reference if you don't like this style. But this is going to be more of a style that's appropriate or, you know, accessible for beginners. So, which I like to do every now and then. I'm going to go ahead and block out that or something. I'm not really sure I like that leaf, so I'm just going to take it out for now. We'll put it back in later if we want it. Okay, I'm liking it. So, how's everybody doing?
I think everybody's doing good.
Yeah.
We hit, here in the northern hemisphere, we hit summer yesterday.
Yes.
The longest day of the year. Now it's getting shorter. Very depressing. But the folks down there in the southern hemisphere, it's winter time.
Really?
Yep. And
how cold does it get though in their winter? Do they get snow?
I don't know if anybody in Australia gets snow or not. I'm sure they'll make comments here in a moment. But anyways, yeah. So I'm doing good. It was a beautiful day here in Arkansas, USA.
All day outside. It was so nice. There's not that many days in the summertime in Arkansas that you can go outside and enjoy it.
So it was like 97, 98 degrees and super humid on Sunday. And yesterday we had a front come through. And this morning it was 57 degrees. I think when I got up, it was just gorgeous.
So nice.
I tried to talk Angela into canceling tonight, but she went on.
I told him to come home early.
Well, yeah, but you told me that like at 3, and it was too late by then.
It was too late.
Yeah. So somebody said, yes, they do have snow in Australia.
Ah, okay. We probably should know that. But
And so can you explain again the background color again? How you mix
yes,
that?
Cobalt or okay, I don't know. Yes, I say yes, and then I can't speak. I'm in my art brain, fully engaged right now. Fully engaged art brain. This is white, and this black background blue is still wet, so I'm just streaking it. If it's dry, you can still do this. You can just, it may not blend as much with what's, going on in the background, but it's turquoise, phthalo, and quinacridone magenta, and then just a little bit of white here. So this is what I'm doing now, just adding little streaks and things, and you can
Very cool.
add as much or little as you want. If you go all in one direction like this, you can kind of get an interesting, patterns happening, or you can, just dab it in like a more random manner by, kind of dabbing and twisting your brush so you get little dots. So however you want to do it, I'm going to, I don't know. I kind of liked it's just a nod to that brick, that geometric pattern in the background, but it's not really bricks, obviously. Obviously.
But yeah, I mean, it's you can't do random wrong.
Right. Yeah.
So
and it just makes it easy for
right.
beginners to kind of jump in there and not feel like you've got to have it a certain way. Don't try to get it to look like mine. Just do your own style of, background, however works for you.
Well, if you keep this up, I'm not going to let you sell this painting.
Okay. Good.
It's
I'm
looking
glad
good
you
so
like
far.
it.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you like it, honey.
I'm glad I tuned in tonight.
I know, me too. Glad you showed up. Okay, so now adding the Unbleached Titanium, which has a little bit of yellow tint to it. I'm going to use that to fill in my watering can. And I don't know what I was doing down here. I think that was supposed to be a flower, so just try to do like that. And I'm not even gonna, I don't even hate having that red from the back, from the outline showing a little bit. So, if you want to leave a little bit of that showing, you can, leave that in there. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in along this edge here and just kind of pull in a little bit with it. Blend it out. So there's like a little bit of that. And there is this, this watering can had like yellow peeling paint. So if you want to try to kind of do some little dabs of yellow, do that. I'm going to get a little bit of burnt umber. I've not cleaned out my brush, so I have like 12 paint things on here. And using the edge of my brush. Now, by using this bigger brush, what this does is this gives it a much looser, you can't get a like really hard line using this big brush like this. So you'll end up with a looser style of painting. Now, if you do want, it more detailed, then you can, you can obviously just get a smaller brush, and then you can get, into these areas and maybe, get a little bit more fussy with your brush strokes and stuff. But I'm really liking this style. I think this really is effective for this kind of painting and, for this subject matter. And it's fast too, which Mark likes. So it's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. He's had a handful of croutons and some fruit of the vine
And
so far.
looking
So
forward to a salad for dinner.
yes,
This summertime we get into these feta fruit salads that we
Yeah.
do.
yeah, with
We have
strawberries
them
and
several
blueberries
times.
and
Yeah, almost once a week at least. We'll have okay, I'm gonna get this light blue here and just do a little bit of this light blue on this side, just kind of along that edge, and just pull back. And this is, it's kind of feeling a little sticky to me, so I'm probably going to just stop there and let it dry a little bit before I do anything else. But I think it still needs a little bit of highlight, but for now. And by shadowing these sides, then when I put my highlight, I can put it kind of towards the middle here, and it'll pop that part out and make it look more rounded. But since this is getting sticky, I'm just going to leave it. All right, let's see. What do we want to use for our flowers? I'm going to go ahead and try this one. This is a 4 Filbert.
Number 4 Filbert.
Like a play-by-play. She's using the 4 Filbert.
Quiet on the set.
This is an interesting choice. She usually goes with the...
She just goes with 3 iron.
All right, yellow oxide here with the turquoise. I used this turquoise in this yellow turquoise in a recent project for the kaleidoscope thing. That if you're part of my newsletter and part of my social media, follow me on social media, you'll probably have seen it everywhere. Sorry, but not everybody sees everything that I post, so we post a lot. Just trying to catch people with it in case they haven't seen it yet. But anyhow, oh, look at how pretty that color is. That's a little bit of Quinacridone burnt orange with this turquoise. Anyhow, I found that I really liked the greens and the blues and things that I could mix with this combo. So I'm going to be using this turquoise a lot in this year.
And we have some people who have done your kaleidoscope already.
Yeah, I already completed my projects, but they won't be... right now, the only one that is available to watch is the
lavender butterfly.
Lavender butterfly, yeah.
Yeah, and some people in chat have said that they've already done it and they loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay, I missed this part right here. This blue is behind here, in between the thing there. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad you guys liked it. That makes me feel good. It was a lot of fun. I labored over the editing.
But also over the selection of what to paint. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I painted a different butterfly twice, and couldn't get it under 3 hours. So I did that one, and it was like an hour and a little over an hour. And I was like, okay, that's because I had to edit it down to less than like around 30 minutes or under an hour at least, and there was no way I was getting the 3 hour one down to that and be able to teach it. I want to be able to people to be able to actually do it. So you got a 3 hour video, you can't edit that much out of it, fast forward it that much, it won't make sense. All right, so just adding some cadmium medium here, cadmium yellow medium here to make a little bit brighter green, but you can see that really beautiful dark green. Now, we used kind of a mid-tone blue for the background. We could use darker or lighter, it doesn't really matter, but if you kind of keep in mind, our flowers are going to be light. So if you want it to kind of really pop, you're going to need something that's a little bit darker. If you did a really pale background, it would be a little bit more soothing, say, right? It would be a little bit more washed out, a little bit more like the flowers wouldn't be as in your face. Using a medium to dark tone in the background behind these flowers will really make them pop out a little bit more. And so that's what I'm going for here. But then because they are so light and this background is such a mid-tone, we're going to want some of these really, really dark areas in some of our leaves. And that'll give us three values at least. You want to always go with a light, medium, and dark values in, at least I do. There are some artists that that do different things. So it's not like a hard and fast rule, but that's my preference, is to have at least kind of 3 values to play with, and more usually, but at least 3. And that way you can really get some depth out of your painting. So, all right. I'm using this lighter yellow on top of that while that green's wet. So I'm going to just kind of go back and forth. So I'm going to kind of squish down and offload some of that paint and pick up some of that dark again. And I'll probably do a couple leaves and then go back in while they're wet and dry them, or add details to them while they're drying. But some of these, like these back here are really dark, so I'm not going to really do a whole lot, but just kind of put them in dark and leave them. So this one is on top here. This one's kind of, let's go ahead and resolve him and make him kind of, you know what, I don't think I want him going that way. I think I want him going this way. And I don't want to end him on the border. Anytime you're ending something right up on the border of something, so like if I ended my leaf tip right here, it kind of continues at your eye all the way down, and I don't know, I just like, if I'm doing something like this, or even if it was like this in the photograph, I would move it over so that it's got its own pathway, and that way it's not being influenced by the shape of the watering can. Okay, let's go. I'm talking a lot, but this is a good one to kind of talk about theory. I don't get the chance to do that very often because I'm always kind of trying to explain the techniques. So it's a good one to kind of go a little bit more deep in our why we do what we do. All right, so there's another leaf right here. Let's come up this way. Let's go ahead and get some of that dark. But it's actually kind of in the sunlight, so there's not a whole lot of dark on it. But let's go ahead and put some of this green in between some of these flowers. So I know these flowers are going to be in here. I'm just going to pop some green in between these petals, and then we'll build them back out when we do our flowers. We'll be covering most of this up, but and if you want to draw out your flower petals a little bit more, in depth, you can do that. I'm going to get really bright. Oh, that's my phone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Let's turn off my phone.
What did you say?
What?
What?
I don't know what I was just, what did I say? Say that? No.
I had to mute because there might be children
He
in the
thought
room.
I was saying a bad word. I did not say a bad word.
Okay, good.
I might have in my head. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
But maybe.
But maybe. No judgy. Okay. I'm going to bring this leaf out a little bit. And then I think I am going to go ahead and do this out from here. Do like this. See that? And then do this one out from here. This is going to have the back side of that. And this is really, I'm definitely going to leave that red showing. I really like that red with this. So that Quinacridone burnt orange color. So I'm deliberately not going to cover up all of these stems completely, because I really want a little bit of that peeking through. I'm going to get some of this Indian yellow hue. Look at what it does to that. It like, boom, now it's like a neon lime olive. Such a pretty color. So that's just with this turquoise. And the turquoise you can mix, if you don't have this particular color, you can mix it with phthalo blue and phthalo green. So just kind of use that, or you could probably even use like phthalo blue and yellow or something like that to get something close to it. Getting a little bit more of the turquoise here. See, a lot of these are in the sunlight, and when leaves hit the sunlight, they've got a lot of yellow in them. So when they're in the sunlight, I should say. So the leaves that are in the shade, we're going to do this dark, more blue colors, down in here where they're in the shade. And then, I said that more blue, and then I put the yellow one. And then the ones that are up in the sunlight up in here, we're going to add more yellow to them. So somewhere in there's a big leaf, and then so I'm going to make this, let's go ahead and do a leaf here. Coming out. They have a lot of leaves, sunflowers do. They have, they're like, even, underneath them, they have, all these leaves happening, so.
So what flower is it that the petals are actually technically leaves?
This is the sunflower. Is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yep, they're technically leaves, and then the center part is where the flowers are, and they're like tiny little flowers that are all bunched up together in the center of the sunflower. So I'm going to get some white and some cadmium yellow light here. I'm just going to do some really bright spots on my leaves in here where the light's hitting it, doing some really just interesting patterns. I'm going to pull down in towards the center. Pull down in towards the center. It'll kind of create, if you go at an angle, you can kind of create that sort of leafy, like almost veins looking. And then we're going to, I'm going to leave them kind of like very, like, I don't know what the word I'm trying to say, abstracted. That's the word. We're going to leave them kind of abstracted. So we want them to kind of be suggestive but suggestive of flower shapes or leaf shapes, but we're not trying to like paint them in like I normally would deliberate over them for hours and paint every little last vein.
So we got a question about paints.
Okay.
So somebody would like to know if there's a difference in the pigment / coverage from the golden opens to the golden regular paints.
I don't think they do. I think they're exactly the same. They're just take longer to dry.
Okay.
Yep. I don't think there's any difference in the pigment.
And speaking of golden, right now here in 2021, they've posted that they're having shortages because of all the supply chain thing, and also I think with people. So they've posted a list or link or list of paints that are difficult to get. I guess a lot of the large tubes you can't get at all just because they're not doing the large tubes.
Ordered a bunch up last year. I mean, I ordered a bunch last year.
It would be a really short video.
Yeah, it would. Thankfully, I have like a ton of paint in my studio from other brands. I think we're okay on paint. But now I may not use the same exact ones that I always use. I may have to change my palette a little bit.
So if everything is lime green and orange going forward, you know why.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, there's obviously other paints other than golden that you can use. So.
Well, but I think that if they're having trouble, it's probably they're having trouble getting the pigments. It's like Fredrix canvas, they're having trouble with some of their stuff too. A lot of the different art manufacturers, not just, them. I mean, just art materials in general last year just exploded. Yeah. People staying home and they were painting, and so there's.
Well, I personally helped the supply chain by not buying any.
Yeah, you were.
I was buying other stuff, but
right. Well, I just usually buy my paints ahead of time, all in one thing to save on shipping, because you don't have to pay shipping when I buy a bunch. So I'll just kind of try to figure out how many I'm going through and then buy a ton, all at once. And that's what I did last fall, I guess it was. And so I should have a few, but if we get down to this fall, then I might be in trouble on some colors. But I think we'll be all right. All right. Oh, I love this so far. So far, this has turned out really cool. So let's go ahead and... I hope you guys like this style. If you do, let me know in the comments, because I really do like painting this style. It's not... I have an easier time painting this style when I do flowers, because I've painted so many flowers over the years that it's a comfortable thing for me. You know, I can mess with them, and I don't feel like I have to adhere to a certain script or something, you know. I mean, I can kind of play with them and feel comfortable with that. It's when I haven't painted something before that I have a little bit more trouble, like making up stuff, or, you know, like ad-libbing, I guess is the word.
Right.
So this is a lot of fun for me.
Well, you're so familiar with flowers that you know how to make the suggestion of a flower, like you were saying earlier about
Right.
the abstract.
Yeah.
You know, you're not as well versed in tanks, so you don't know how to make it really abstract looking.
Right, I wouldn't be able to do a tank in like a super abstracted style.
So that means you just need to do more
Need to-
tanks
Okay.
so that you become familiar enough with it.
Is that the answer?
What?
Okay. Check. Well, I see your point.
I know I'm only going to get one, and I cherish it. So
Yeah, enjoy the one that you got. It destroyed my analytics on my channel for a few months.
I think you already have more views on this painting than that one did from a couple years ago.
You're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. All right. So when I do have areas where, you know, I don't really know what's there or something, I'm just going to kind of throw in some dark green or some turquoise or something back in here. So, and then like on some of these where there's a lot going on, and I'm just going to kind of like where it goes down into the flower, you know, there'd be like a shadow there usually. So I can kind of throw some shade on that area, so to speak, and use, you know, some of the turquoise in those areas. Okay, I am like pretty happy with this. Let me go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a little leafy coming off him, and just highlight the stem a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and highlight the bottom of this right there where the stuff comes off. Let's go ahead and get some white, and like on the top here it's got the highlight, comes down into the flower, and then there's these little things sticking out, which I don't have the yellow in here yet, so I don't want to do too much, but that'll be good. Let's do the white on top of him right there, on top of this one right there, and this one's kind of more in shadow, so I don't have to really do a whole lot of it there. This one's kind of maybe in shadow, we'll see. I don't know, we're making this one up, so we can decide what we want to do with him. But okay, and then my white, I really want bright white along this leaf here, right there. So that's gonna pop it forward. Let's do the same thing off this one. Okay, so those will kind of come up towards us by putting, and then the, you know, using the white with it here. So the ones that have this white indicates like they're in shadow, but they're getting light. They're lit up a little bit, but they're still in shadow. And then the ones that are yellow will look like they're more in sunlight. So some of these ones towards the middle and up in here will come up with some brighter yellows for those. But okay, so I think we're pretty good on that. Pretty pretty happy with that overall. So let's go ahead and start on the centers of our flowers. We'll just put in some of that dark. I'm going to use the burnt umber and burnt quinacridone burnt orange and a little bit of the blue, the turquoise, which is our blue. But you could really use any blue. It does not have to be. You could even use ultramarine blue and use that. It would make it a little bit more purpley tone, but it would still work. So this one's very, very adaptable. Okay, so this will just kind of help us define our flowers a little bit before we get too much farther on in them. So there. Here.
I was trying to remember, did we do the bonus video already for June?
Yeah, we did it early, right?
I think so.
We did because we did the one with the this one.
Okay.
That was the bonus video for June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just trying to think, am I going to have to work Sunday? It all comes back to me.
And is she gonna make me work again?
Wait a minute.
All right.
Things I think of while you're painting.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. You got to keep yourself occupied there. Okay, so this one I'm doing a little bit more brown on these ones that are the burgundy flowers. And I'm just paying attention to overall shapes of the centers. This will help me inform how I put the petals on. So the ones that are more oval here, will be kind of facing away from us. Maybe a little bit of the flowers will be turned in different directions, but then the ones that are really fully facing us will be more circular in the middle. Okay, so that one's more circular. That one's more circular. I don't have. Okay, this is the other burgundy one here. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of put the petals in where it's going to be, right in here. Yeah, right in here somewhere. And this one's that lemon yellow, more yellow, and you could really change up the colors however you wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and do another little bitty one right here. And then right here there's two, so there's one here. This color's almost too dark. And one down here. I'm kind of moved these two apart a little bit, so they're both kind of right there and there. This one is actually got a kind of a greenish center, so I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do these little bitty ones. So this is that big one right here that's facing up. It's going to cover most of this leaf that we did, but that's okay.
So it seems like the consensus is that people like you doing this style. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think even Siskel and Ebert have given it 2 thumbs up.
That's really strange because I think one of them's dead. I think, right?
That is how good it is.
Okay. Maybe they're not. I'm sorry if
No one did pass away years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was, but not to make light of the subject, as just a big failure on my side.
I'm just gonna throw a damper on that whole thing. Your whole joke.
Bob and Joe gave it 2 thumbs up. We'll just change it to that.
Okay. There we go. And then this yellow center one, I'm gonna get some of the. I'm just going over this top of this green that we had mixed that had the yellow in it, and get some of the yellow tones. There we go. We're going to use that for the center of this one. That's pretty much like that. Okay. Fun. All right, this one's working for me, so I'm going to continue with it. If a brush is working, just keep on going until it doesn't work anymore. Less to clean up afterwards. Can I get an amen?
Amen, sister. There's some
no fun.
There's some catchphrase that we learned from the gold show that I can't remember right now.
That you can what?
From the gold mining show that we're watching.
Oh, what was it?
Remember? Yeah, we said we were going to remember. We can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember. Shoot. All right, so Quinacridone Orange and Quinacridone Magenta makes this really beautiful dark burgundy color, and then I'm lightening it up with a little bit of the Cadmium Orange here. And I'm going to, let me see. You know what? I'm going to wait because these are actually kind of on top of other yellow flowers. So I was going to start on these, but I'm going to not do it yet. I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm going to do the yellow ones first.
So while she changes colors, just let everybody know that we're probably going to stop doing YouTube videos, move to Alaska, and start looking for gold in the Bering Strait. Angela's all about going about 30 feet underwater for about 3-4 hours, vacuuming the bottom of the ocean for gold.
Being on a janky boat, the engine doesn't really work out in the middle of like seas that could kill you if you fall into them. So.
The only thing that works on the boat seems like the people. Everything else is just kind of like extra.
Okay, this show has been on forever, and we're like only just discovering it. So apologize if you're like a fan from long ago. We're gonna, and we're dissing your favorite show, but
yeah,
these people are crazy.
It's like wow. It is interesting, the work that people do.
Yeah,
it's definitely dangerous, and but it's just wow.
Mm-hmm.
OSHA does not approve.
No. No. All right. I'm just going to start using a combo of these yellows. So it really, at this point, it doesn't really matter which one I choose first. What I'm going to do is kind of start dark a little bit on the darkish side, and then work my way up to the highlights. So, and when I'm going over these blue parts, it's not going to cover because these are so dark that we're going to have to do several coats on here to get them to cover. So that's totally fine, and that's normal. So just kind of know that going in, that it's probably not going to look a whole real good at first. So I'm going to get the dark cadmium dark, and I've got the Indian Yellow Hue. Kind of mix them together, and I'm going to just use them back here to. And if you want to go around your leaves, if you've got a particular leaf that you really like and don't want to cover it, that's fine. You can do that too. I'm going to kind of just go over the top of most of them. And then if I need to, I can put them back in later, and I probably will. Probably put the leaves back in. My dog is trying to bust down the door to let it. Man. All right, so I'm going to move this center up a little bit. Got the burnt orange there. Okay, that's pretty good. And again, not going to try to make these too, not going to get too fancy with these. So just going to kind of look at the overall shapes, look at where the leaves, the petals are, especially in these ones that are kind of on the side. The petals do interesting things. So the ones that are back here, kind of reaching out, we're seeing more of the full petal. And then the ones off to the side here are kind of curving back and away. and then they're getting a little smaller and smaller. So right in here they're getting smaller, and they're coming up over in places, up over the center in places, and then turning back and curving back down. And if you kind of load up your brush fairly thick with paint and then just kind of plop it down, and you're using the Filbert here, it really creates these petal shapes really easily for you. So let me do it over here where you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to hold it on its angle, and oh, that's not the one I want. Okay, so set it down at the tip of the flower and pull back towards the base, and you're going to get and depending on how thin I want my petal to be or how pointed I want it to be, I'll change up the pressure. So if I want it kind of lighter or more pointy, I can just barely drag it a little bit before I start pressing down. But pay attention to the direction that your petals are going. So by the time it comes around here, they're going to start to turn. So you want to, when you're over here, you're not wanting to do your petals in this direction, because that's, they're already kind of starting to turn in towards the center. So always kind of orient the petals in towards the center, wherever you're at on the flower. And in a previous video, one of the very first videos I did for YouTube, I showed about, just draw it out really quickly here, about a sunflower here. If you, let me do it darker. If you take the center of them and just kind of split it like this, and then, do your petals off these quadrants like this, pointing in, or even just extend these lines out this way from the center. If you're having a hard time orienting your petals, this is what you need to do. And then that way, okay, my petals are going to go like this all the way around, all right? Then, and they're also in between and things, but this kind of helps keep them in line. If you're doing it off to the side, they're going to be kind of like this. And the ones that are in here are going to be like this, but these ones are going to be shorter. And then they're going to be kind of like this. They sort of curve out like that. And so these petals would be like this. And then by the time you get to the center, they're going to be like that. And then as you go around the sides, see how that curves down, because they're curved like that. And then some of these are going to be coming straight at us, so we may only see just a little bit of them. I've made that really long just to show you kind of the direction, but so like that. That'll be kind of and then really the ones in the middle here are going to be coming up at us and over the top of this middle section somewhat, a lot of times. So, but you will see you'll see the top of the center right here. Usually it's going to be kind of rounded a little bit at the top, and then around the sides sometimes this middle part will be covering it, sometimes not, just depends on the way it's angled. But that hopefully will help you kind of when you're doing these to keep them in the right spots. It makes a difference. Even though we're abstracting these, we still want them to kind of be structurally correct, in their core, at the core, and then we can, as long as we kind of get them sort of generally in the right direction and size and everything, then we can play with the finish on them and kind of make them a little bit more, I don't know what I'm trying to say. You get it, you understand, hopefully. Trying to make them more whatever.
Sure.
Okay.
We're right there with you.
Check. So let's go ahead and make that leaf going in front. Might as well, right? We can do that. So I'll do this one. It's kind of coming off here. Like that. And I'm going to go ahead and just put some yellow back here that we're not seeing, so we don't know what those are. They're just kind of hiding back there. I might do the same thing back here. Just, you know, there's a couple of flowers that are back there that this one's going to cover up. They're on the back side of the watering can, so we're only seeing just a little bit of them through the leaves. And this one's kind of pointing down at a weird angle, so we're not seeing the full petals except for like off to the sides here a little bit. And if you're having trouble with it covering, you can add a little white, and the white will make it more opaque. So it's always a good trick. Okay, and then this one is, I'm going to go ahead and put it in, even though it's more lemon yellow. Just go ahead and kind of start it. Big one here. How are we doing on time? 1 hour. Oh, we're doing good. These little bitty ones, I'm just barely touching down and using the edge of the brush there just to keep them very thin.
So real quick, we'll just mention patreon.com/AngelaFineArt. We showed the bonus video for June this year. But of course, if you sign up, we got different levels with the traceables at the $2 level and bonus video with that, plus the obviously bonus video and traceables. And $10 level with all that, plus a Facebook group and a challenge image that they do all month long. And you're doing a leopard, right?
Yeah, I'll show that here in a second.
And it also gives you access to all the previous content at that level.
That's the leopard that we're doing.
Yeah.
So we got the tree done and the background done, and we're starting on this leopard. We'll finish it this week.
Sweet.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that $10 level on they get their own separate special video once a week. Usually once a week. Occasionally I'll take a week off. If we, it just kind of depends on how we're doing on that project. So usually pick a project that's going to take several weeks to complete, and then if I get it done early, I'll give myself a day off. But for the most part, we do it most months. We'll do it every day. Okay, I'm going to come this way.
And for everybody, yes, obviously I survived last week. Thank you for your T's and P's. We had 2 dogs in the house.
Yes. They did good, actually. They weren't,
Yes, they
weren't
did.
bad at all.
They did very good.
They were, actually, it was kind of fun. Fitzpickle's super sad this week. Super sad. He just does a lot of sighing. I guess I'll just play it by myself. There's nobody here to play with me. Took my friend away. Sent him home.
Somebody wants to know, is there any specific reason why you went with a 12 by 12 canvas tonight instead of a 10 by 10?
Yeah. Instead of 10 by 10, yes, because I wanted to be able to use bigger brushes. And it's easier to do this. I find it's easier to do this expressive type painting with a bigger brush and with a bigger canvas. So, I mean, if I had my choice, I would be doing this on like a 24 by 24 or something like that. Really big.
Well, I mean, you could have.
No, because I can't get it in under the cameras.
Oh.
So this is about as big. Well, I can go a couple more inches, but that's about it. I can't do a whole lot, and I don't want to be standing up and doing it. So that's okay. This reminds me of, it's like one of that Van Gogh sunflowers. It's got that kind of feel a little bit. It's kind of,
Really cool.
I didn't intend that, but it kind of has that same feel to me. Not that I'm saying I'm as good. I'm just saying it kind of, we're wannabe Van Goghs here.
And you haven't really felt his painting either, so.
True. What do you mean felt it?
He said it has the same feel,
Oh,
so I was just
true.
trying to do a dad joke there. It was
Okay.
too far on the dad scale.
It was, yeah. My bad. Fireworks?
Fireworks.
I was kind of like, what the heck is that noise? Could they hear it? Might have been
I missed it on the
might have been
replay.
too
I
light.
think they could hear it, maybe.
Okay, so I'm really kind of almost dry brushing this. Our neighbors are a bunch of pyromaniacs, and we're included. We are totally on board with that. Our family is right there with them, and we all go nuts with the fireworks on 4th of July.
There is no need to go to a professional display.
No, you just come and hang out with us, and we'll keep you entertained.
And we don't spend nearly what other people
Some
in the
of our
neighborhood
neighbors
pay.
do,
Like,
yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get some of that lighter blue and just do this whole section with a little bit lighter blue. There we go. See how that rounded that out a little bit? It's kind of subtle. It's not, perfect, obviously. I can get a little bit of the rust color here. I might add a little, even though it's not in my bucket, but I'm just going to kind of add little bits of, I don't like that. Take that off. Yeah, I don't like it. Okay. Get some white there. Yeah, that patchy yellow that's in places. Okay, that's good. I don't want to overdo, which is my go-to method. So I am gonna darken up the handle though a little bit, just right there. Okay, let's go back to this. And get my cadmium yellow light and my white. Create a really bright lemon yellow, very light. And I'm gonna find those and start putting those in. And I'm gonna just try to hit the tops of these flowers and leave that darker part that's in the center a little bit alone. So just kind of lift off. Let me get close to it. And there's smaller petals in the middle here that are really bright. So I'm going to get some white and do those. Do them in different sizes and lengths. Right. These two are not meeting in my photograph, so I just need to decide which one is going to be on top, you know, which one's going to be pushed toward the background. And I think I want the lemon yellow one on top, so I'm going to go ahead and go over the top of that flower with him. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to get the burnt. And I'm going to keep these paints moist. If I keep spraying them, I can keep all of, even the greens still in good shape, so I can use them later. So I want to get some, I still have a little bit of yellow on my brush here. I'm going to get some of the brown, and I'm going to just actually use this brush here. I'm going to get that and just dab around the center of this one a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to get that dark color and put it back in the middle. Okay, so mostly done. Like, he's mostly done there. So that'll be kind of what we're going for. And if it's not dark enough in places, we can add darker parts or lighter, you know, if we need to as we get going here. But that's going to be kind of I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit brighter right here. There we go. And then the center of the flowers, you can get a little bit of that burnt sienna. It makes a really good shadow color for yellow. So you can get a little bit of that and just kind of go back in the opposite, just from the center out, and just add, if you know, if some of that is looking a little bit too much the same all the way down. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do this one here. Well, no, actually, let's do this one. I'm just kind of looking at and seeing which ones are in the background. So need to do those first, which I probably should have done this one first. But in some of these, I'm not going to actually even really add a whole lot, because I've got this really dark, nice dark or yellow here, so don't need to cover most of that. I only did it on this one because that is that lemon yellow one, and it needed more light colored. But these ones, I'm just going to kind of dab on that tip and add my brighter color. Cadmium yellow light or cadmium yellow medium, or both. And just go around it here and add little highlights to it. I can kind of, this one's mostly in shadow, so I'm not going to put a whole lot in here. But there's some petals that are kind of curved. Let's get a little bit more of the burnt sienna and use a little bit of it in some of our darker areas down and around this area here. Just gonna blend that out a little bit. Just where I want it darker in shadow. And then bring out some of the petals in the with that lighter color. Okay, and then the center of that one, get the burnt sienna, quinacridone burnt sienna and burnt umber, and just I'm gonna use this brush and just dab it. Dab around the outside there. And a fairly good rule of thumb is that your petals will be like almost the same width as your center. So just kind of take that center width and just kind of come this way. You can see on a sunflower they're about that. Now, of course, these are all kind of bent over, so we're not seeing it straight. Get a little bit of burnt, some of this dark color here that we started with, and dab it in the middle here. I like it. Okay, so I'm going to get this red now that we made before. There's a burnt sienna, or I'm sorry, burnt orange and magenta, and then we added a little bit of orange to it for the light areas. I'm going to go ahead and kind of start with this color, and then we'll see, I told you, the sigh. This is what I've been dealing with. A little So I wasn't lying.
Yeah, it came from the mic.
Huh? It did come through. Yeah. It would be nice if somebody played with me. Oh, man. He does guilt trip really well. I know. Fitzy is so sad. So sad. Nobody out here playing with me. Where's Spencer? Is he supposed to be playing with him? Alright, I'm just gonna okay, that one's kind of right back in there. I didn't do a very good job of like hiding him. He's kind of sticking out front. Pretty far there. Okay. I love you. So I can either I just need to go ahead and just put him in here because he's either over this leaf or he's not. And if he's over the leaf, then his petals are going to be different than I've got him here. So there we go. So he's halfway covered. It'll work. And then get that burnt sienna. Use it kind of in the middle here, just a little bit right around the center. And get some more of that Quinacridone burnt orange, burnt sienna. And I still have the yellow on here too. I'm just going to kind of dab that center right through there. Okay, so it's facing this way, and these petals are over the top of it, right in this back area. So don't put the center in that area. All right, so far so good. We're doing all right here. Just keep on going. This dog is cracking me up. So sad. Okay, so let's do this one. We didn't do him. This, if you look at the direction too, they're kind of facing out, so you kind of turn your brush so you're kind of getting these little tips going outward. And they overlap the yellow. These are starting to look more realistic than I had intended, but that's okay. I can't help it. What'd you say?
Then you might have to sell it.
No. Just put him out.
It's because the nose stuck on it.
I know. Just put him out of his misery there and let him in. Oh, the tail. You can hear the tail, just the waggy tail hitting everything. So happy. Hi, pups. Hi. Thank you. Okay, kisses. Thank you. Thank you. And look at my feet. All right, thank you. Yep, I'm gonna come through. Hi. I know. I'm painting. You can't. Okay, I know. Thank you. This is pretty spread out. Fairly evenly. These ones start to get a little short on this side over here. And you curve down this way. Under the table.
Yep.
All right, getting some yellow. What are you doing, Fitzy? Okay, so dab the yellow around the center here a little bit. These are so fun. I had intended on planting sunflowers in our garden this year, and I bought a bunch of different sunflower seeds because I wanted these kind of things, and then they all came up really nicely, and then we put them outside and killed them all. So all the little baby sunflowers are dead. So then I was like, dang it, I'm gonna have to start over. And I just haven't done it yet. And we've had the weirdest weather this spring and summer. It's been so wet. I was gonna just put them straight in the ground, but it's been so wet, and so I still want to do it, but it's getting real late in the season to start them. So I don't know if I'm gonna get them in this year or not. I'm still gonna try, but yeah, I should have done it today, but I was just enjoying reading and not doing any. I didn't want to get honestly, that sounds really weird, but I didn't want to get my hands all messed up before painting. So, and I'm usually not that worried about it, but since I've been doing these videos, I am more aware of what my hands look like. Just because it's the only thing showing on camera. Okay, so just kind of adding, and you know, where these are not covering up the green, adding a little bit of white just so it'll cover. Okay, and this one's even darker. Getting that burgundy, Quinacridone burnt orange, a little bit of the teal goes a long way. That was way too much. There we go. So use that one on here. More of a purple tone to it almost.
Do you remember your nail polish color?
Marigold.
Marigold? Oh, that's
I
boring.
think it's called marigold. Pretty sure. In my
Is it this one
my
here?
swatch. No, my swatches are out in the living room if you want to get it. I spent an enjoyable 2 or 3 days last week. Was it last week or the week before? Going through all my nail polish colors and putting them on little cards, the little nail tip things, making a,
It's okay. You can
like you get in the nail salon. Because I was tired of making paper charts of them. I like to keep my
Okay.
colors all together.
Don't judge.
I have a problem. It's a problem. I understand it's a problem. I have a slight nail polish fetish. Okay, so
So
this it's okay.
It's all right.
There could be worse things that I could be
Exactly.
addicted to.
exactly.
Okay, there we go. So here we go. This one is Marigolden Hour. Marigolden Hour. There you go. No judgy.
No judging.
Plants and nail polish. Those are my two current obsessions. I may have ordered a bunch of more plants online the other day.
What?
So, for the inside of the house, not the outside. I think this is spending so much time indoors and of course working from home. I just been much more into houseplants lately. Yeah. Just I don't know why, but yeah, I never could keep our houseplants alive. But I think, in my defense, it was because I had children to keep alive, and they had priority.
Good choice.
And now that they're all grown and out of the house and responsible for themselves and keeping themselves healthy, I can focus on things like the dog and my plants.
So I kind of noticed that husband/spouse was left out of that worry column.
I'm assuming you don't need my help with that, but I'm getting a little bit of this lemony yellow, but down here it's more shaded, so it's got a slight green tint, so I'm getting just a slight little bit of green here. Yeah, no, you're on your own. right. And then dabbing center, just dabbing, dab. All right, so I'm going to use a little bit of that burnt, oops. That was dry and it flaked off on my paint. Don't want that. Getting some burnt sienna here with the cadmium yellow deep. I'm going to go in here. Well, this is already pretty dark down here, so you may not need to do this, but I want to make sure that this one is like just a little bit more orange maybe than the other one. So I'm going to get a little bit of orange and add it to my cadmium yellow medium here. And so when I do these ones, I'm going to do it with, they're yellow, but they've got a little, it's just a little slight more orangey tint. And these two kind of are just kind of bumping up against each other, so their petals are doing like this. They're kind of interlocking, so one's not really on top of the other. They're just sort of side by side there, getting tangled. Okay, getting some of the brighter cadmium yellow, medium here. Adding some of that in streaks. Making sure I'm going over the top of that one well, so that it looks good. And then let me get that burnt umber, and I'm gonna bring this down because I brought those petals so far down. I need to fix the shape. There we go. Get that orangey red and add it to the center of this guy. Darker color in the center. And then this one has a tiny bit of the yellow, but not as much, showing around the outside of him. Okay. Trying to make him more circular. He's kind of turned into a square there. There we go. Fun. And I'm going to highlight some of the petals that are catching the light. He's not all dark. We're almost done. Got a couple more. The big yellow ones go pretty fast, pretty easy. This one down here, I'm pretty happy with it as is, so I'm not going to do a whole lot to him. I might add just a few little lighter petals along the outside border with some white here, mixed in with my yellow, but I really like it already, so I don't want to mess with it too much or overwork it. And let's go ahead and do a little bit on this guy too. with the lighter yellow. But leave him alone for the most part. Let's go ahead and add some white little bits to him. Okay. Some of the darker burnt sienna there. These ones are kind of more in shadow over here, so. Little baby ones. How you doing, hun? Guess we need to wrap it up
doing
here, huh?
fantastic.
Getting close to the
Getting close to
2-hour
the
mark.
end, yeah. But that's okay. And we have to say thank you for the gift we received.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've got a really cool book about Tiffany from from Jessica. And Jessica, I apologize right now. I threw away
We kept the card.
I kept the card and didn't really realize that I didn't keep your address to write you thank you note. So I hope you're watching, and if you want to let me know your name, I'll send you a thank you card. Along with everybody who sent me Christmas gifts and birthday gifts that I still have not sent out thank you cards for. So sometime in 2021, I will hopefully be doing that. Oh, I am the worst. I'm so sorry. So... I think that was one of the, supposed to be one of the lemony yellow ones, so I'm going to make a little bit more lemon color here out of the yellow, cadmium yellow light and white. Go. See how pretty that is, having the different tones of yellow all through in different places. Just kind of leads your eye around. So we've got, one down here, one up here, and one up here, and it kind of does this, kind of guides your eye around. I'm going to make these ones, one of these a little more light, even though he's not the same. I can still play with it. Okay, let's get the burnt sienna, Quinacridone burnt orange here. Do these little guys with that. This one's facing us. I probably need a fifth one of these because I've got them in like this weird row here, so I need to break it up. I need to do a fifth one out here because otherwise it's gonna be this weird chain here. It's not good. There we go. Just a little something to break that up. I honestly think that I could have left out probably half of those and just done that, or those three. Or
Yeah,
something.
but you are you, so we know. We know,
Well,
and it's okay.
well, I feel like now I like having it down here. I know something about it is bugging me, but it's too late in the game now to change it. So we'll just have to live with our choices, with our life choices. I'm getting some quinacridone burnt, or I'm sorry, I don't even know why I started saying that. Turquoise and yellow. Here, I can't say my words all of a sudden. Okay, so right in here. So let's go ahead and put a leaf kind of over the top of this one, coming out from here. And this is where we need to, kind of define some things and make sure that all of these make sense here. Bring this out a little bit more up into this area. Dark in here. This is where you can kind of define some petals too. With that, let me go ahead and I'm going to add some dark though to this, and that one's already got some dark, so let's add some light to it. Those little bits kind of kick back off of them. Okay. Top. That creates depth and movement, so don't be afraid of going back over here and like covering over some of these petals with leaves. Okay, so I'm gonna do that one here. going in and adding this bright yellow highlights on some of these that are catching the light. Okay. All right, I'm happy with that. Burnt sienna, a little bit of yellow. I'm going to add my center to this one. Watery. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, that's good. Get my cadmium yellow medium here. Some white. Add some highlight petals on top of there. Trying to make that one a little bit more resolved. Let's fix his petals here. He's got kind of weird stuff going on.
Are you going to do anything more to the center?
Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Are you worried about it?
Not so much worried. Maybe curious.
Yes. Most definitely. I've just been saving it kind of for the last, since it's sort of the big daddy on top of everything else. So. Get a little bit of that burnt umber, adding it there to shadow some of those petals. Cadmium yellow deep. Maybe some Indian yellow hue here. See, ended up with 3 in a row, or 4 in a row here too. I don't know, the way I did my things, so I would have liked to have moved him down so that they weren't all lined up like that. And they're not too bad, but they're, like, I think it would have been better to have this one offset a little bit more. But, I mean, it's just, it is what it is, so, as they say. No, I don't like that. I don't know why I just did that. We were pretending like there were some flowers under there, but I don't think that that needs to be there. I'm gonna these ones out a little bit farther instead. Okay. Okay, let's get some green. Fix that leaf there. That color doesn't, too much color on my brush. Just want a light green there, and it does not want to come off my brush. There we go. Okay, almost done here. The last little bit. That would have been better right there. That little, those little three right there, maybe, or these three. Is that those two? Okay, I'm just gonna, like I said, live with it. It's kind of bugging me though, but it'll take too long to fix it at this point. All right. So, using lots of white because I got a lot to cover up with these other petals, other flowers around it. And I'm really kind of going around. Not all of them are catching the light the same way, so I don't want them to be all the same all the way around, but actually this one in my photograph was photoshopped, so the light is actually coming from this way and all the light on these ones are coming from this way, so I turned it around, so you can't really go by the photograph on this one for how the light should be hitting it. You can see the shadows are going this way. This is actually from this photo, I think, or maybe the other one, but it's like it's actually this one. If you, yeah, look at it right here. It's that flower right here. So the sunlight's hitting it this way, so the shadows are going up instead of down. So don't do your shadows up on this one. Just saying. Just saying. You can Photoshop, but just kind of, you still have to obey the laws of nature here. If it's not, light source is not the same, you just have to be aware of that. We'll keep an eye on that. So our light source is coming from above here on this photograph. So let's hit up the tops of these. And then our center here, get a little bit of that orange mixed with this trying to say? Burnt sienna or quinacridone burnt orange with the Indian yellow hue. That's a color. So I want kind of a orangey color, but I want that green to peek through places, and I'm gonna go all the way around until I get to the very center, and then just kind of leave that little bit green in the middle. And I want a little bit darker bits in the center, so you get a little bit of burnt sienna, but not too much. It's not super dark, so. But by tapping, you kind of open up the bristles of your brush, even if you're not using a stippler. This brush will work just fine. Just kind of tap it and open up those bristles a little bit. And then I'm going to get some cadmium yellow light, a little bit of my green. And just tap again with that, with a little bit of the yellow on my brush over the center part. And I do want to do some shadows on it though, so I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of the burnt sienna with my cadmium yellow dark maybe. And mostly around the bottom here where this center part of it would kind of be sticking out and shadowing just a little bit. Maybe towards the centers of some of these or in between some of them. He's back outside. He's like, I think Daddy's hungry. He wants some dinner, Mom. You need to stop. Okay. And, I can kind of make certain ones a little bit darker, add some shadows in certain areas. You can play with it and look at your reference photos or a lot of these ones over here were all in shadow, so they might be just a little bit darker overall than some of the other ones. But pretty happy with that, I think. Go ahead and fiddle with this, and I think I want to go a little bit darker with that center, just slightly. Add a little bit of highlights around there. Okay. And yeah, I think the center is just slightly darker. Maybe a little bit of the burnt orange with the turquoise so that it's kind of toned down a little bit more muted. Yeah, that's better. Much better. Okay. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Huh?
Nobody saying anything.
Nothing obvious. Making some dark green here. I'm gonna bring this down, this leaf, or add another leaf. Let me think. Yes. I'm going to add another leaf right here. Really dark one. The leaves are kind of heart-shaped. Help define that a little bit and add a little bit more motion around there. Get a little bit of the letter green here, and then I think we're done. Okay, we'll stop there. That just kind of helped break this up. I don't know. I think it just needed it. Maybe not, but it's just me. I think I probably would have brought that darker leaf down here a little bit more. I feel like it needed to be a little bit farther down, but it's so big already. I don't want to make it any bigger. So, all right, let me sign it. And we ended up using 4 brushes out of all of these that I got out. So, that's funny. Let me get a little number 1 round here and some yellow, white. Thin it out really well. I'll use it to sign. You gotta thin this out really, really thin so that it just flows off it without any pressure. Without having to press down at all, and that way you can get a nice thin line. Go for it.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Yes.
More cowbell.
We had a super chat tonight. It was from
Awesome.
Patty, and she says, "You worked so hard for the kaleidoscope piece,
Oh,
and this is beautiful.
thank you.
I love all your work. You have changed my world. I wish I could
Aw.
say more."
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you so much, Patty. We
That's
appreciate
amazing.
it.
Well, you guys have changed ours too. Believe it. You better believe it. It's unreal. We're hoping that Mark will be able to eventually help me full time, and we would never have been able to just say that,
Right.
10 years ago. Helped me do what? Paint murals or whatever it was I was doing in kids' classes.
Teach at the local art store.
Local art center and art stores. And so it's just amazing to be painting for people all over the world now. It's just crazy. I'm literally pinch myself when I think about it. It's pretty fun. It's not a normal job, but I love it. It comes with its own unique stresses and challenges, but it's a lot of fun. So you guys make it fun for us. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I really liked it. And if you want to see more, be sure to give me a thumbs up, comment in the thing what you liked about it and what you want to see more of. And I pay attention to the comments. So
Somebody asked, are paintings for sale sometimes?
yes, they are. I have the paintings for sale on my Etsy store, and there should be a link down in the description to the Etsy store. So, but you can just search my name, Angela Anderson on Etsy. I think my shop name is Angela Anderson Art or something like that. It's really original.
But down below this video is a link to Amazon and the Brush Guys and all the social medias, and Etsy is there, and Teespring.
Right.
So
yeah, if you're doing the Amazon Prime Day stuff, if you use our link, even if you don't buy the stuff in my store, I think it gives us a little boost. So we'd appreciate that. I'm gonna give this a little.
And that's
shout
good
out here.
24/7, 365.
It is.
But yes, thank you to everybody for your support. It is amazing, as Angela said. It's
Incredible.
yeah, we're just like, wow.
Yeah, we when I get to tell, I love to see people's faces when I get to tell them what I do for a living. It's like my favorite thing.
You know, like, oh yeah, it's cute. You know, you're on YouTube.
Yeah, we were with a friend the other day, and we hadn't seen him in years. It's probably been I don't know, at least 5 years since we'd seen him and talked to him. And he's like, "Oh, you're doing YouTube? Oh, that's cool." I was like, "How many subscribers do you have?" And he's like, "Not that it matters." It was so cute. And he's like, "What?" I'm very proud of you guys that share our videos and paint along with us. So it's all you guys, especially those, who are patrons and, support our channel and stuff. We're so appreciative of you guys, and we brag on you all the time about how, amazing our audience is and how fun it is to get to talk to people from all over the world and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
And it's because of you guys too and your engagement with the channel that when we do things like, giveaways and stuff like that, the sponsors are more than willing to do that because you guys, are so supportive of them also.
Yes,
so we do appreciate that.
Yeah, they do. The sponsors, Princeton Brush and different ones, they only send us stuff because you guys buy it, so we appreciate you using our links and supporting them too, because they're a big part of what we do. And our moderators who keep everything running week after week.
Yes, amen.
They have, I don't mention them enough. They're amazing.
Yes.
All righty. This was super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved it. So hope you try it. And we'll see you guys. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you next Tuesday. We're going to be doing another one, and our new schedule is out. So you can check that out if you go to my link click on my photo or my name. It'll take you to my channel homepage. You can see all the upcoming videos and click the bell to remind you of those if you want to watch them with us. So we'd love for you to join us. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.